All right, well, welcome to Mind Body Relationship, where we talk about the mind, the body, and the relationship. Yeah, and today we actually have a special guest. Hello, Courtney. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So how about if you tell us a little bit about yourself?
All right. Well, I'm Courtney. I'm a student intern here at the Counselling House. Just started in September. Completing my practicum through Yorkville University. And yeah, I'm just started. I'm excited to get started on everything.
That's right, exactly. And you're looking for clients, right?
Yes, I am.
So anybody who's interested in our ACT program, which is Accrediting Counselors and Therapists program, just go to our website, right, and fill out the application, and then we can refer you to our current group of students, including Courtney.
Yes.
Yeah. So Courtney, you're here today to talk about an experience that you've actually really gone through, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about Alzheimer's and being a caregiver and just the transition of putting someone into a nursing home.
Yeah, that can be a very difficult experience for sure. Yeah, and not a lot of people actually really know a lot about it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Really want people to really educate themselves if they're in that experience, just so you can be able to better manage and handle yourself and the person who's affected. So that's why we're here today, I guess.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. So so how did everything sort of like start? How did things start to play out so that you knew that you were actually really dealing with Alzheimer's?
Okay, so I think in 2018 my grandfather had passed away, so I kind of had to take on the role of caregiving for my grandmother, who had early onset Alzheimer's, but through the course of the 2 years kind of got worse and worse, progressed over time as it does.
Right.
So I just kind of went through the process of learning, dealing with the behaviors and the reactions and how to deal with that, and then just, like I said, the transition into a nursing home.
Were you in conversation with the Alzheimer's Society during that period of time, or how did you learn about Alzheimer's and how to deal with the behaviors?
Yeah, I was in contact with the Alzheimer's Society. They're very helpful for giving me information, links to websites and articles.
Oh, yes.
They do offer like therapy and counseling for caregivers, like support groups.
Oh, okay.
Very helpful.
Oh, that's good.
But I also reached out through the doctors, like the geriatric nurses,
right.
Occupational therapists I met with, behavioral therapists. So altogether, like they provide a lot of information in different aspects.
Oh, that's really good.
Very helpful, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so what was that progression like?
So at the beginning, I didn't know she had Alzheimer's. And then I noticed that she had a few changes in her behavior and personality and definitely her memory.
Wow.
So I contacted a few people and got her tested at the hospital, and she was a client for Alzheimer's. She was diagnosed.
Right.
So then over the course of 6 months, 8 months, it kind of got worse because she wasn't on any medications at the time.
Right, wow.
Yeah, so that was kind of difficult to deal with, like her changes in her behaviors, because she lived alone at the house, so I always had to go check up on her and make sure everything was okay.
Right.
But I think about 8 months in, we had to give her a few medications just to help slow down the process of the Alzheimer's.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a few that she took, and it took a while to get used to it and getting her to take them every night.
Oh, I bet that was difficult.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Had some help, but now that she's in the nursing home, it's a lot better. Because they're there 24/7. They make sure she gets her meds. So
right.
Much better now.
And what is the process in regards to getting into the nursing home? How does that go?
So once my grandmother was diagnosed at the hospital, they referred me to a caseworker through the local health integrated network.
Right,
So,
the
yeah.
LIN.
The LIN, yes.
Used to be CCAC, right?
Okay,
yes.
Yeah, so I assigned a caseworker. They did like a home evaluation, and she came a few times, and then she realized that my grandmother couldn't live alone, especially with me not being there 24/7.
Right.
So we kind of like started the transition of applying for nursing homes, doing tours, doing research in the neighborhood and whatnot. So
wow, yes, yes.
It was a long process.
Oh, I bet, yeah. And I mean, they have a tendency to base it on safety, right?
Yes,
the safety standards, because they want to make sure that everyone is safe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
That's their biggest concern. I think right before my grandmother went in the home, she had a seizure.
Oh, wow.
Because the medications were messing with her brain, I guess. She wasn't used to it, and she wasn't taking them regularly.
Right.
So she had a seizure, and then the hospital declared that she can't go home. So that kind of like motivated the push to the long-term care.
Yeah, exactly. So that was the safety measure right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So what is it like actually really, touring the long-term care facilities and trying to find the right one?
Well, they give you quite a big list of the ones in your area. You kind of pick and choose, like based on like how close it is to your home.
Oh, okay.
And then you go visit. You get their list of activities, their examples of like their dining menus.
Oh.
You see the rooms and whatnot. So it's pretty interesting to see like the layouts of the buildings. There's certain wings for like people with Alzheimer's.
Right.
Just to help with their transition and everyday living.
Did she go with you, or was it solely your decision?
She really wasn't on the same page with going into a home. She didn't really want to accept that she had Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
I think she went to one. It didn't go very well.
Oh, dear.
So my sister and I, we went to a few of the other ones to kind of get a better idea of what's going on.
That's actually quite common, isn't it? That transition period can be quite difficult.
Yes, that's when I had the behavioral therapist come in.
Oh, okay.
Just to help like ease the idea and topic of moving into a home.
Oh, okay.
And just steps for us on how we can help ease her time. And then he was also there on move-in day.
Oh, okay.
To help like resolve any issues and conflicts that kind of arose.
Oh, okay. It sounds like it was helpful.
It was very helpful, yes.
Oh, that's good.
A hectic day, so I'm glad he was there to help out.
I bet. Yes. I was just wondering, for other people who are going through that same and similar circumstance where it is that the grandparent is actually really not ready or doesn't feel like it's their time to have to move into the long-term care facility. What helpful suggestions you might have for them.
It is a difficult conversation, especially because for the most part, like they'll forget the next time you bring up the conversation.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a new thing, new emotions every time. But I found that just kind of consistently hinting it, easing into it, not being like, oh, you're moving into a home, just kind of like, what are your thoughts on this? Or
right.
Like we can't live here for too much longer, what can we do? Just so it's not so much of a shock, and kind of give them like a choice as well to be part of the conversation as much as they can, really. So
yeah, I'm sure it's very difficult. Yeah. And so when it is that you actually really were able to get her settled, then what were the next steps that you had to go through?
The first little bit was a little hectic because she didn't really want to be there.
Yes.
So I just found like bringing in like furniture from her home, blankets, decor, just to help bring like familiarity.
Right, yeah.
I visited like almost every day just so that she didn't feel like alone or like abandoned. Asked how she was doing, watch some like her TV shows just to make her feel more comfortable. But yeah, it was a slow transition. She didn't want to go do the activities or socialize, but it's understandable. So
yeah,
she's doing much better now. She kind of says that it feels like home.
Oh, good.
It's been almost a year.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, but I'm just glad now that she's getting more comfortable with everything.
That's really good. Yeah,
everyone's different though, so.
Oh, exactly, right? And it does come down to that comfort, right? Yeah. Basically, she's a visitor until it becomes home.
Exactly. Getting used to the new rules and expectations and environment in general.
Oh, yes. We're not really good with change.
No.
Yeah. So, it doesn't actually really end there, does it? Because she has a home and she has stuff that she can't bring in because it's a relatively small space compared to where it is home is for real, right?
Yeah, I think we just brought like a dresser, nightstand, a TV, and then her bedding and clothes. That's all you can really bring.
Yeah.
Because they're worried about other residents too coming in, stealing like valuable items.
Oh, wow.
So the doors are usually open during the day just so you can have like see your friends and whatnot. So.
Right. Yes. And so then what is the process like in order to deal with all of those things that you can't bring in?
For us right now, we kind of left it in the home and kind of slowly brought things over that we were allowed to bring by asking like nurses and whatnot. Although because she's out of the home, we had to sell her actual house.
Right.
Can't afford both, which is kind of hard. So we did have to get rid of a lot.
Yeah.
But we did keep a lot of things that had sentimental value or clothing and coats that maybe she'd want later on.
Right.
Or gave things to family members so that like if she goes and visits them one day after all this COVID, that she can kind of remember that.
Yeah. It is quite the process, isn't it? And there's a lot of conflict, really, when you think about it, in the process itself. Not only with the transition of dealing with so many people and dealing with agencies, but also dealing with your loved one and how it is that they're feeling, right? And even family members might be actually really in conflict as well with the process or how it is that they're feeling about that transition.
That's true. I think for my family, at least, they are pretty understanding of her needing to go in the home. They're kind of on board, so you have to add them to a visitors list. So I've added most family and friends so they can go make appointments to go see her.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
She can make phone calls in and out, so that's kind of good. But yeah, I guess just for conflict resolution, it's just a matter of just when I'm talking with her, asking how she is and just giving her the time to express how she feels. See if there's anything you can change, like she wants to say she wants to go home.
Yeah.
Even though she can, it's just kind of working around that conversation and seeing what else you can offer.
Yeah. And you're quite young to have to go through such an experience, aren't you? Yeah.
I always get that whenever I come across other like health professionals and stuff.
I bet.
That's okay.
That's okay. A little bit of conflict there too.
Yeah, a lot of people don't take me serious when I'm on the phone. They say like, "How old are you?" Like.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Oh, wow. That's so funny, isn't it? Yes. Well, I think that that's really, really important stuff, right? And a lot of people, everyone really, basically, has to go through some sort of transition in life, right?
Of course.
Especially to deal with aging. Yes. Yeah. And so I think that, anybody who is going through that kind of experience or struggling in some sort of way, Courtney's a great person to have a conversation with about that because you've actually gone through the experience and are going through the experience, right? So you actually really have that knowledge that a lot of people up until a certain age really haven't experienced and don't know anything about it. And then you just have to be able to deal with it as it is that you're going through it. In a new learning capacity.
Oh, for sure. I definitely recommend self-care, getting support as you need it, because being a caregiver is very challenging to go through all of that.
Oh, yes.
So you need to take care of yourself before you can take care of someone else. So highly recommend that. Seek out support.
Yeah. Well, that's really good. And now you are the person that people will be seeking out support.
I hope so.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah. Transitioning yourself. And what brings you into wanting to be a therapist, by the way?
Well, that kind of started way before this. Kind of in my undergrad, just doing psychology, figuring out what I want to do. Found that I had like a passion for really hearing people out, wanting to help them and see change in other people. So kind of wanted to expand my education in that, go from there. And now here I am in placement, practicing those skills. So
there you go.
It's very exciting.
Very, very exciting. All right. Well, thank you, Courtney, for joining us today. Did you have anything else that you wanted to add?
Just with COVID in the nursing homes, I know it's kind of a new topic and everything. If anyone's watching and have like a family member in a nursing home, just to kind of remember to try and book some online meetings with Zoom or Skype, just so they don't feel like so isolated or abandoned, because they don't really know why people stopped coming.
Oh, yes, that makes sense.
Just to have like a video chat, make their day.
Oh, that's really good. Yeah. Yes, and I know that I believe I heard today that they're shutting down the long-term care facilities for so many visitors coming in.
Yes, they first had video chats and they opened it to outdoor visits, then kind of indoor visits, but now that's kind of going back to just online visits.
Yeah, it's a worry and a concern, isn't it?
Yeah. But 30 minutes of once a week would really make their day, so it's kind of nice.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, sounds good. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us, and please give this video a like and, of course, subscribe. And thank you, Courtney, for joining us. All right, and bye for now.